Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and today I'm taking a first impressions look at Phantaruk. I should mention that I did get this as a free key from Playway SA, who I guess are going to keep sending me keys. But yeah, this is a first-person horror game, so it's a bit more in my wheelhouse than some of the other stuff they've sent me. And we'll take a look at it. I really don't know what to expect from this, other than it is horror first-person on a spaceship. Alright, we've clearly woken up from cryostasis or some other sort of man-storage device. And, you know, as they do, things have already gone shitty on this spaceship. Why is that such a trend that when you awake from cryostasis, it's usually way after things have gone to shit instead of, like, immediately when it happens? Alright, got some infected subjects to avoid contact with. We've got an inventory. Or we've got an inventory with just some pictures that we can't interact with. Alright, that's pretty hard to read because of how bright it is. Clone tubes. Alright.
Please avoid contact.
And I guess we picked up a battery thing. This we can click on. An energy cell. Alright, we probably just need to stick that in a door or something.
All survivors are requested to proceed to the biomedical section.
Well, now I can definitely tell it's the future because we've still got some
with the infected subjects.
tire irons and a wrench.
All survivors are requested to proceed to the biomedical section immediately. Please avoid contact with the infected subjects.
Sure, let's just take this mystery cube.
All survivors are requested to proceed to the biomedical section immediately. Please avoid contact with the infected subjects.
No flashlight, unfortunately. Also, are we just like walking around fucking in our skivvies? Because I imagine it's probably pretty cold in this spaceship. View pulse and toxin levels. Alright, no toxin, and 85 BPM. Okay, thanks for explaining this. So, we're a clone. I guess we're getting out of the way right away. So if our heartbeat gets too high, we'll die, and if we get too infected, we'll die. Alright. Well, I guess that's one way to tutorialize without just putting it in your face. Anything else here we need to take? Is that a sticky note? Or just a weird square of light? Nice contraption. Captain was arrested. I can assume that our uninfected state won't last very long if that's a mechanic. Is that a lighter? A lot of weird anachronisms already. If we're supposed to be on some sort of space station with clone tubes. Oh, our cube is detecting a signal.
Purity 02 on course, set to arrive on schedule. We'll soon pass the target star. I'd give anything for Ignatia to be here with me, to see this majestic reddish-yellow giant. Such ferocity is beyond the confines of technology, and yet, to think how many painters have dreamt of mastering the array of color flowing in its flares. I talk too much. If First Officer Fyodorov heard me, he'd probably be silently laughing behind that veneer of his. He and I see the world differently. For him, it's all just a series of numbers. Data to be sorted, categorized, and rationalized. It's what makes him a near-perfect officer. But Ignatia, she looked at things differently. What I wouldn't give for her to be with me here now.
So we've got audio logs that we don't even have to pick up, they just happen when you're standing somewhere. But there's literally no reason that I couldn't have kept walking around while I was playing. Instead, it locks you into place and you can just look around. Which, you know, I thought we were past that. I thought the whole stand here and listen to an audio log thing had become, you know, walk around and listen to an audio log. No, the door was probably locked until we listened to that, wasn't it? Energy cell needed. I guess we can't take the other one back, since the door would have closed. It's kind of funny that we're complaining about all this pain, but our heart rate is nice and steady. And we also can't jump. I guess spacemen can't jump. Can't open any lockers. Yeah, it seems so far like a typical first-person walk around and be spooky while you can't actually interact with anything, which is a shame. Oh, suddenly I'm 100% toxin. Alright, that was kind of a pretty ham-handed tutorial. Oh, by the way, suddenly you're 100% toxicity. This is how you use an antidote. Is that one little battery we put in powering the whole elevator, or just the door? Gotta stand here and listen to this.
I finished sketching how I imagined this deity. Look at me, like some ancient relic. So few people use a pencil and paper to draw anymore. If it hadn't been for Ignatia, I would never have even tried it myself. It's been 9 years. In our world of advanced technology, I never expected that smallpox would become lethal again. Nobody did. 3 billion people. Phantaruk. A deity pieced together from the scrap heap of discarded religions. When the world turned its back on the people, they created a being to protect them and to avenge their ordeal. Ignatia spoke of it on many occasions. My wife wanted her to let it go, but I continued to listen, to lap up every last word. I was powerless. I sometimes wonder if it was supposed to be like that. Some kind of destiny, atonement for our sins. There was nothing I could have done. And here I am, an old man talking nonsense with a pencil in his hand.
These things are basically just the data buffers from Soma, except, you know, you don't actually have to touch them, they just spout signals at you. So we've got Phantaruk as the future space religion. Okay, we've got a little eye symbol on the bottom left. I guess that means whether we're visible to an enemy, probably. Though it doesn't change when we crouch, so... Oh, maybe it's a light meter? It changes when I'm over here and then it just disappears. Got a sprint. Oh yeah, so I guess that means we're in shadow when that pops up. Like a visibility meter. Rubik's Cube. I will say this manages to look less like a Unity Engine game and more like an Unreal Engine game. Unfortunately, as I've voiced before, I'm not particularly fond of the way Unreal Engine games tend to look, especially when they're low-budget Unreal Engine games. Light gives away your presence, yeah, kind of ascertained that. This is going to be like Pandorum, where all the people who were stuck out of cryostasis turned into space monsters that eat the other people in cryostasis. Just another propane tank sitting in the middle of a hallway. You know, as you'd expect on a space station. It's not even connected to anything. I guess it wouldn't be a first-person game without some vent crawling, or at least not a first-person sci-fi game. There's an infected. I think we hit a loading screen. Alright, so we got one antidote syringe. Oh wow, I guess that antidote didn't actually cure us. And we've got our spacesuit. So now we're not running around naked anymore. Which has a flashlight built into it. It's a very blue flashlight. I'm not sure there's really a reason for a flashlight to be blue. No, got a signal.
I don't know how to report this. After leaving the breach, I found my cabin turned upside down. Things were scattered on the floor and someone had tried to scribble something on pieces of paper, but hadn't got past the first few letters. I noticed a trembling figure in the dark corner of the room. One of the technicians working in the research section. What was his name? I asked him, but he kept saying that it's punishment that will reach us all. I wanted to find out what he meant, but he just kept mumbling about this punishment. His rumbling started to mix with pleas for help as he wiped the blood dripping steadily from his nose. I don't think he was aware, but blood was also dripping from his ears. I tried to help him get up, but as I went to him, the mercenaries that were there to guard the ship stormed into my cabin. One of them pointed his gun right at my face, at me, the captain of the ship. He may have been young, but you could see the readiness in his eyes. He was prepared to kill. Someone must have warned him that he may not have a choice. I didn't intend to give him a reason. They took the technician with them. I was told to keep quiet. Panic and all that. Standard line. But they forgot about the most important thing. The truth. They never mentioned it. This man, he was scared stiff. He had come to me, and I couldn't do a thing. I could only watch as they carried him away. I watched the same thing happen 9 years ago. This man came to me. The punishment that will reach us all.
Also, these logs are way too long to force you to stand still. It's funny that the captain's accent gets way thicker when he's agitated. It's actually kind of accurate. Okay, our toxicity is getting high. Let's pop a syringe, which puts us into slow motion, because that's how, antidotes work. Didn't we just get a 3-digit code? "501. Alright. A 3-digit code on a thing with 6 digits? Sure, that's how those work. There's a infected fellow over there. Probably should be crouching, but whatever. It's one of those games that doesn't have toggle crouch. You have to hold it down. Which, for a game where you're going to need to hold it down a whole lot, kind of sucks. Did I just go in a circle for no reason? I guess this would be to get away from Mr. Shufflepants. Probably gonna be a tutorial about escaping monsters' attention. Oh, okay, the door closed. This is how you stealth. So this is like a Zombrex situation with this antidote, right? We're gonna have to just keep taking it through the entire game. Making sure we always have a syringe handy. Okay, picked up is another battery? Oh, of course. Flashlight needs batteries. New work suits. Don't screw this up. Work harder. Never don't give up. What? The double negative. Oh, our battery meter is that weird, like, helix-looking thing at the bottom left near the eye. I hear another beeping thing. Turn off the generator in the cargo hall E to open the biomed door, then get to the evacuation. Another syringe. Oh, that beeping is not my problem immediately. Left wing of the door to the biomed section jammed. That's not what that says at all. My screen is flashing like I got blood in my eyes. But doing fine. I mean, we're at 50% infection, but that seems okay. Oh, okay, we got a little bit of a soma amnesia with the not being able to look at monsters thing. Otherwise, our eyes get really dirty. Gotta wipe our contacts. So I think we've now seen the entire gameplay loop of where this game goes. It's going to be a lot of hiding in vents, not being seen. Luckily, I've learned a thing or two about how not to be seen. Oh, alright. He saw me through his back. So now I'm gonna go hide in a vent, I guess. Might as well just call this game Event Horizon. He punched me through his back. I guess we should probably go fix this thing before we end it. Do I have to pick up that shit again? Yes, I do. Good place for a checkpoint. So, did he see me or hear me last time? You would think he heard me, but I'm not sure there's an actual sound mechanic. I feel like if I just look at him long enough, he'll just come sprinting after me. Our heart rate does go up when we stare at him. You know, maybe our character is just an agoraphobic clone, and the idea of looking somebody else in the eye just terrifies him. I'm seriously not sure what this screen stain is. I mean, typically that would be the "you're taking damage" thing from another game. But, we're not. Oh, he's coming back this way. Alright. I guess I'll just die. Oh. I actually didn't need to go backwards, it turns out, because there's another door over here. That music means that he saw me, so he's gonna chase me. Can't tell if he's going to take the long way back or come back the way he came. But this is definitely the kind of enemy where they're basically just an annoyance and not something you're like, oh shit, he saw me. It really just kind of sounds like he needs to clear his throat. Like he's got a really bad case of space mucus. I bet that's gonna get his attention. I guess we got a key card. H Plus Corporation, or Human Plus, probably. Yes, because there's nothing shady about working for a company that is named after transhumanism. I'm sure they're not going to make any weird viruses. Subcutaneous implants. Get some sweet derms. There's a note there that we can't actually read. Oh yeah, that really helps me read it. Don't worry, be happy. Me and this mutant dude, we jammin'. Alright, so is there any actual reason to come in here? We've got another antidote, but, you know, don't really desperately need it. I wonder if I can actually outrun this guy. Probably. I ran out of juice. I can't keep running. See, like, at least the xenomorph could fucking get in the vent with you when it chased you. You couldn't just break its AI by doing that. But Snuffleupagus here, he just stops as soon as you get somewhere he can't reach you. He heard me open the door. That door doesn't work. No good, we're not back in the same spot for the 5th time. But, you know, I think we've pretty much seen all we need to see. It's, you know, it's another one of these, basically. If you're somebody who actually enjoys these first-person walk around while something chases you games, and don't need, like, a compelling story or anything like that to actually drive the otherwise stale gameplay, then you'll probably enjoy this too, because, I mean, these games usually get a fairly positive rating on Steam, even when they're not of particularly good quality. And, I mean, this one's definitely got more going on for it than most of them. You know, you've actually got meters to worry about and an inventory of sorts, but it's still not enough for me to really get anything out of it, because these are kind of, in my opinion, the worst kind of horror games. At least I get the least enjoyment out of this type of horror game, which is not to say I don't enjoy any of them. Obviously, Alien Isolation is kind of this formula, but done well, in that there is actually more going on than just hide and vent or, you know, run away from thing. Then again, this game is $12 on Steam, so, you know, obviously there is a quality price difference. But yeah, this Phantaruk, it seems alright for these kind of games. It's definitely better than a lot of the Unity garbage that we've played in the past, because, you know, there's a lot of Unity garbage that went from being free shit you download online to stuff that they actually sell on Steam now. But yeah, so I hope you'll join me next time for some other spooky things that are probably going to be better. And thanks to the publisher for giving me this key, even if I didn't really get too much enjoyment out of it, but you know, it's the thought that counts. Alright, take care folks, I've been Shadefire, and I will see you again next time.